I'm Bobby.
No,
No,
babe. How many? Okay. Hi. Welcome to the Bobby and Renee show.
hmm
I'm Renee.
I'm not. No, I'm Bobby. Yeah, yeah.
Oh my.
What's a Y? I'm a boy.
Really?
Yes, because some people spell my name Bobbie.
Okay, we're just gonna go with the introduction that we just gave. How many times do we have to take this? Yeah.
Too many times.
Whatever. Anyway, our topic for today is going to be about blended
Blended
families.
families. That's right.
Yes.
So we are a blended family, and like I said, you couldn't tell by the way we treat our kids.
Yes.
You know, I came into the relationship without maybe 35, 45 kids that I
Yeah.
knew about,
Mm-hmm.
and she was happy enough to accept them.
Mm-hmm.
So being a part of a blended family, you have to, take the words stepmom, stepdad, stepchild out of the equation. I mean, like I said, you may not be that biological child's parent or biological child's parent. Right? Is it right? Biological child. You may not be the biological parent of the child.
Thank you. Yeah. You
Yeah.
confused me for a minute.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute.
So you
Okay.
may not be. See, where was I going with that? You may not be the biological parent of that child, but you're still the parent of that child. So you need to take those out of the equation and raise that child like it's your own. Now, sometimes you might come into a relationship with a child, have their own relationship with the parent, the outside parent. So it's a little bit hard there because, we don't know the dynamics of, the upbringing and, some of the psychological stuff that may happen there. But if you accept the mother or the father, you also have to accept the child as well, the children, if it applies.
Mm-hmm.
So a blended family is no other way. To me, it's nothing different than being a regular family. You know what I'm saying? Blood couldn't make you closer.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to keep that in mind. And with any relationship, whether male, woman, homosexual, whatever the case be, you have to work hard at it. So you have to work even harder when children are involved. You see what I'm saying? So that to me is something that I look forward to. I'm a proud stepfather, father, like I said, to all my kids. Ones who live here, and the ones who do not live here. But I love them as much as I possibly can, and I love to. I hope they know that too. Sometimes you go without baby saying how I love you, but I try to make it a point to say I love you, especially to my boys every day. Because a lot of men don't say that to their children, let alone their male children.
Mm-hmm.
So that way, when my kids grew up, they grew up knowing that they were loved by their father, no matter what situation be. And that goes to her biological son.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the same go from her, right?
That's right.
So,
Well, I guess a lot of people were like, because coming into the relationship, I came into the relationship with one child, and my husband had five children at the time. You said you had 30 or 40, so I'm just clearing it up and letting them know you had five. Now I'm doing good.
Okay, all right, carry on.
Thank you. So anyway, he had five children,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, oh my gosh, five kids, because I've always wanted a big family of my own. It's just I didn't want to have to deal with baby mama drama, because I knew he wouldn't have to deal with baby daddy drama. So I'm like, I don't want to have to deal with any of that, and I don't want to have to deal with the different personalities and the different things like that. So I was nervous. I was a little bit nervous. I'm not gonna lie. But I guess in our relationship, it was a little bit different because with his twins, with the twin boys, I was their babysitter.
Mm-hmm.
And this was before he and I were in any type of relationship. He was a single father, and he was trying to work and take care of his children. And on nights that he had to work, he didn't have a babysitter on some weekends. So I offered to babysit for him. And the kids became close to me through me babysitting them.
Mm-hmm.
And so after we established that relationship, then Bobby and I established a relationship, so to speak. So
my kids loved you. They liked you. So it was because I've been in a relationship prior to her that my kids didn't really like the person I was with. So that kind of narrowed it down. You know what I'm saying? Having someone who my kids love and that I can also love as well. I didn't want to be with somebody who my kids didn't like. They didn't choose for me, but they didn't like was bad around her like that. They didn't really care for her, so much. You know what I'm saying? And long story short, I didn't either. Right?
well, you did.
No, not really. I didn't. I don't know.
Yes, he did, y'all. Don't let him fool. He just talking mess because I'm sitting here, which is cool. It's not a problem.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. It's not a problem. But we like I said, you have to have an understanding.
Yeah, you do have to
You have to
definitely have an
understanding,
understanding.
and it's not going to be easy. It's never going to be easy. But you have to have that common goal that you both are working with as the adults.
Now, one thing that we do in our family with our boys, because we have all boys that live with us. My husband have two daughters also that's in Philadelphia with their mom, and but with our boys, we teach them respect from the top to the bottom.
Yeah.
So the oldest one, they know that when we're not here, he's in charge.
Right.
And then the second from the oldest one, same goes for him. Now the two oldest boys, they're 6 months apart.
Right.
But the one that's right up under the oldest one, he still respects him as if he was much older.
Right.
But that's because we instilled that in them, so there would be no problems. We don't have our children fighting each other and trying to hurt each other, because we established those rules in the very beginning.
Right.
With a blended family, we don't like using the word step, because to me it builds a wedge there. There's a gap there, because you always hear that saying, "Oh, you're treating me like a stepchild." It's always used in a negative light.
Right.
So we don't use the word step. I'm Mama Nay, he's Pops.
Pops.
And that's just how it is with our children. And
they're
we have
friends.
and they're friends, right. And we have a mutual respect.
Right.
I love his children as if they were my own, as if I did birth the boys and the girls, as if I birthed them. But I've always wanted a big family, and God has a strange sense of humor sometimes. He gave me the exact amount of children that I wanted. I wanted 8 kids. He gave me 7. So I'm short one, and it's going to be like that.
I'm working
like
on
that.
it, dog. I'm working
It's cut.
on it.
It's cut. But I'm not saying that everything is peaches and cream.
No, it's not.
We've had our share of ups and downs. We've had situations to arise, but we got over it.
Right.
We got through it as a family. And that's what makes a world of difference. Sometimes they'll be like, gosh, why don't the boys interact more? But with this whole technology age, they communicate through text and on Instagram and whatever,
They
Twitter
have
or
their
whatever.
own language.
Yeah, they have their own language, but to us it's like, you're not close enough. You're not communicating enough. But then we had to sit back and say, you know what? They're growing up in a different time than what we grew up in.
Right. But also understand, Renee and I we're the only child of our own parents. So we didn't grow up with siblings.
That's true.
So,
That's true. On my mom's side.
Yeah, on my mom's side as well. So, we grew up by ourselves, basically, the only child in the household, me for almost forever, and her, off and on with her siblings from her dad. So, seeing our kids not really interacting how we would want to interact with our older brother or our younger brother, it was kind of hard for us at first. But then, we had a conversation today about, you know what? They have their own lingo. They have their own way of communicating. It's a mutual respect. They don't have, they take up for one another. Now, we might not see them, going out to the mall together and doing that together, something like that, or on the front yard playing football, kind of like that. They don't do that, but they do stuff together. I mean, on their own time in the way they want to do it. So, and we allow that. We don't want to push that bond together because they've already made their own bond.
Right.
So that's the good thing about the blended family portion that we have.
Right. And we had with our boys, both of our boys graduated at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
They graduated high school at the same time. And they both went off to college at the same time. That right there was stressful.
And we're about to do it again another 5 years.
Yeah. But coming from 2 different families, this time it's not going to be as bad.
No. It should
But
be.
but with Jamari and Bobby Jr., it was they're like night and day, 2 totally different personalities. So we had to cater everything around their personalities, so to speak. And their graduation, all of their family was here.
Yeah.
And this was the first time my husband has met my son's other side of the family. And this was the first time I met his son's other side of the family. So, of course, we were nervous and anxious at the same time. And I was like, and see, another thing with, this is my second marriage, and my ex-husband is still in my son's life. He's not his biological father, but he was in his life from 6 months old. So he's still in my son's life. So we had all of the families here on both sides. And this was my first time meeting Bobby Jr.'s mom. I was nervous about that. I already have a relationship with my son's other mom, his biological father's wife. I already have a relationship with her. So with my husband, I was like, well, he's about to meet my ex-husband as well as my son's biological father. Mm-hmm. Those two men been in his life from day one, pretty much. Excuse me. So my husband understood that.
Yeah.
So anyway, on that graduation, that weekend, we were all together, like that whole weekend. And it was like a family reunion. You would never know that, we were all a big blended family.
Yeah.
We had fun together. We ate together. We cooked out. We was drinking. We just had a lot of fun.
Went to the beach together.
Yeah.
Her and my baby mama threw me in the water.
Yeah. So, I mean,
not happy about
yeah,
that.
Jamar dad, they didn't get a chance to go because they were going back home. But we just had a lot of fun together, and you would never know that. But that's because we already have an established respect. My husband and my ex-husband, they were all playing spades,
we butt too, butt.
I mean, but you have to have a respect. My mom was in awe. She said, I've never seen a group of young people come together and act the way you guys act. She said, I just have a newfound respect for all of you. And and I love my son's other side of family. I love Bobby Jr. other side of family, and that's just the way it is. Mm-hmm. She called me her baby mama. I call her my baby mama. So and it is because we have 3 children that's mutual between the two, and then we have the twins' mom, who's rest in peace. She's deceased, which is my husband's ex-wife.
Yeah.
Well, it was his wife when she passed away. So but that love that we have, even with the twins' grandparents, I love them as if they were my grandparents or they were my parents. Yeah. They're wonderful people. So just as a family, you have to have that. You have to establish that respect.
Yeah.
One thing to get around is you don't bash the other person. Mm-hmm. You don't talk about them in a bad light. You don't talk about all the negative things in no positive light, because you know what? People will begin to create their own opinions of that person, and that's what causes strife.
Yeah, exactly.
And I learned that the hard way. So I knew how to do things different coming into this family. Yeah. And some people say, "Girl, you crazy? How could you deal with that? Or how do you do that?" Well, you just do it because we're adults.
That's right, and because my baby mama and her, they all slept in the same roof.
Right. Yeah, because it was a situation where their car had burnt up on the way here. So what would I do? Am I going to say, oh, and we put them up in the room the first night, but they had to get back home. So what was I supposed to say? Oh, no, honey, that's your baby mama. No. I'm not going, no. Mm-hmm. You know why? Because I trust my husband. You know why? Because I've established a relationship with her. So I trusted it. It was no problem for me. Yes, here's a blanket, here's a pillow. What else do you need? That's all it is. Help yourself to whatever it is. Whatever you need, help yourself, because I'm not the jealous type to go off on a rampage and arrange whatever. Now, if I was a jealous type, do you think that situation would have went over smoothly?
I don't know. I mean, but you are jealous.
Whatever. I am not the jealous type, honey. Not anymore. When I was younger, maybe so. But now I'm not.
So that's how we work our blended family, issues out. I hope our message or how we do things may help someone out there with their blended family issues. Like I said, rule number 1, establish that respect with the other side of the parent who is not inside the home, if possible. I mean, sometimes it may not be that situation, but as long as you're doing the best that you can to make it a positive environment for the child, then that's the best. That's all you can do. You can't do anything more than that if the other person don't want to receive it. So with that being said, I don't really have any more to talk about the blended family situation. How about you?
I guess that wrapped it up. I mean, if you guys have any more questions, once again, please feel free to reach out to us, and we'll be willing to answer your question on video and post it so that everyone can see.
Yep, that's what we do. So 1, 2, 3.
Peace.